Welcome to the Neo News Today podcast. I'm your host, Dylan of Neo News Today. In episode 58 of the NNT pod, I sat down and spoke with returning guest Vincent Geneste, the founder of GhostMarket, a cross-chain NFT marketplace and explorer. In this episode, Vincent and I talked about how GhostMarket formalized into a structured company and added new employees, the differences between building on Neo Legacy versus Neo N3, adding support for multiple chains, establishing relationships with big brands or well-known names, the upcoming GhostMarket token, and so much more. So I hope you enjoy listening to this conversation with Vincent as much as I enjoyed having it. Hey Vincent, how are you doing today?
Hey Dylan, very good. Thanks for the invitation again.
Yeah, the last time we spoke was August of 2020, so maybe a few things have changed between now and then?
Yes, we've been very, very busy. I'd say up to March of this year, we were more like, not a hobby, but a side project. We didn't have neither a proper company structure nor revenues, and we were focused on only one blockchain. So it was very, very the first steps, of a company and / a blockchain project. But since then, especially in the past 2 to 3 months, a lot of things changed. So we've started to hire people. We are now up to, I think it's 9 people, all included, both technical person, marketing, support, and whatnot. Also, we already started deploying on more blockchain. Again, our goal has always been to be completely blockchain agnostic, and we took the decision long ago to take our time to have a solid basis, a proper foundation, both in terms of front end and back end, to accommodate for that. And since about, I'd say, 1-2 months, we're at the point where we have everything fully ready, and now it's a matter of growing exponentially and add blockchain, deploy new smart contracts and whatnot. So it's everything is going crazy fast now because we're ready to take it to the next level, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that things are going crazy fast for you right now because, GhostMarket's been a platform you've been working on since 2019. And
No, not 2019.
Oh,
I started an early version of it. I think it was in March 2020.
Okay.
But it didn't, even the beta of it was like August-ish when we talked. It was literally the first version going live, which was very, very basic. So no, not 2019.
My bad. But so you started in March 2020 and then things kind of ramped up in March of this year. Is that kind of a response to the NFT craze, or I guess you could call it an NFT bubble if you want to, that we saw earlier this year?
Yes, it's obviously related. Even if it slowed down a little bit very recently, obviously we had a lot more contacts and whether it's for investor or artist or end user. Anyway, everything related to NFT was exponentially growing, which is good but bad also because there were some downside to it. Every single person on the planet and his grandma wanted to do NFT. So that's good, but at the same time, unless you want to do some weird things, it has to be structured. It's, of course, NFT, I'm not going to say it's not useful. It's very useful. There are hundreds of use cases. But not everything has to be NFT related also,
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the ICO boom in 2017
when same thing.
Everybody was just making a token to make a token.
Yeah.
So was that part of your plan for the roadmap to kind of expand your team, to kind of build out around the March time, or did you just kind of take the momentum that was going on in the market and use it as an opportunity to kind of exponentially grow?
No, it's we had this in mind before market got very heated. It was about the same time, but I think it was in February or March. We had a discussion with my team, and we said we had a shit ton of things to do, and we were all very interested, and we were all working on the side. And so this is something we wanted to change, going full time for this project. And also, we knew that we needed both financial resources and manpower, basically, people helping us, because we were 4 people back then, and all of them part-time, and you can't compete with team of 10 people full-time, let's say. Obviously, we're not just trying to compete, we're trying to do something better or different, but at the same time, if you compare 2 teams, one is 4 times bigger, they obviously will work faster. It's just how it is. So it just made sense to us to grow the team, and that goes with finding money, because the founding member were fine with me paying them with a magical hug, but traditional salaried people, you have to pay them.
So do you have like a corporate structure now, and you have 9 full-time teammates? Are you paying them in like fiat? Are you compensating them in cryptocurrencies? What does that structure look like now?
Yes, we have a former entity. We're actually based in Portugal. Law changed quite recently, and it's a very, very friendly crypto country, even more than before. So we're based there, basically, but it's half and half. I don't have the specific, but let's say about 5 to 6 people from the team are salaried, including myself. We're salaried for the company, and we have some contractors. Not because we didn't want to employ them, but also because those people prefer to stay contractors. It's easier for them for many reasons. And so it's a mix of everything, but yes, we pay people in fiat and some in crypto. It depends. We have both, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you have definitely expanded beyond a single chain that GhostMarket supports. So are some of these full-time GhostMarket employees working on integrating a specific chain? Does everybody kind of work in all sorts of facets of GhostMarket?
Sure, I can explain quickly. So at the high level, how a marketplace works, you have 3 components. You have the front end, the back end, and the smart contract, like most projects. But for the front end side of things, it's fully generic. So we have 0 work to do to add a blockchain, literally. Besides maybe adding a few logos and whatnot, it's plug and play. For the smart contract, this is mostly a colleague of mine and myself who handles that. So for each chain where we deploy, we have to deploy between 2 and 3 to 4 smart contracts. So this part for each chain we want to add, it's quite a lot of work, less for all the EVM blockchain copy, where it's just a copy and paste, but still. But the biggest part is the backend stuff. So basically plugging into a blockchain, parsing events, blocks, checking this is an auction, this is someone bid on something, all that kind of things. This is the part which is the most time consuming, especially to deal with that in a proper and scalable way,
Yeah.
And yes, so how it works at the moment, for example, we already have Phantasma, partially Neo3, and we also have Binance Smart Chain fully integrated. And next week, we will deploy Polygon. might be a few days late, but it's coming. So we have someone working to tweak our current backend plugin parsing to integrate Polygon infrastructure, basically. And same thing, by the end of next month, we will have Ethereum. So it's the same thing. We just tweak our backend to on top of what it does currently, connect to Ethereum blockchain. And same thing for Neo 3. Neo 3, we have a couple contracts there on testnet. So we have like a NEP 11, which is a basic create your own NFT. We have our NEP 17, which will be our fungible version on Neo 3. And what we are missing still is our trading contract, basically allowing trading any NFT to any currency. It's in final work, but it's not ready yet. It's the last piece of the puzzle for us for Neo 3, which was a bit less, not put on the side, but less important, just because, it's a test net. It's not like we can earn money right now with Neo 3, so we have to prioritize.
Yeah, totally. I wanted to ask you what the differences were like working on NEP 11 smart contracts on Neo Legacy versus Neo N3.
So it's quite different. First, all the tools and whatnot, it's way more intuitive and complete tool set, and also the what's very tricky when dealing with NFT is dealing with metadata. So both parsing it and showing literally image and description and whatnot, but doing that in a generic way. When you're a single project and you have your own NFT and that's the only thing you use and show, it's easy. You can customize it fully for this project. You don't have to care. Do other people can read this easily? If they want to use your stuff, they use your website, it's done already. In our case, we have to have something which we can plug and play to parse and show data in a very generic way. We don't want to spend, hundreds of hours just to add a project to parse it properly. So anyway, my point is, on Neo Legacy, every single project was doing his own thing. Mm-hmm. Since there was no standard, there were 4 projects with NFT capabilities. So it's not like it was major, but still, all these projects did things differently. So it was basically all about one-time unique customization for each project, which would not have worked with more projects. In Neo 3 and other blockchain, it's the same thing. That's why there's a standard. It's about, if you follow the standard, you will be directly or almost directly able to be integrated into wallets that support the standard, dApps, tracking website, which parse in a certain way, or marketplaces. It has to be very generic to an extent. Obviously, there are customization, but there has to be a base, and clearly it was not here on Neo 2 because there was no standard back then.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's a standard now that allows for scalability to happen. If I recall correctly, at GhostMarket, you guys were having to manually update each NFT project that was implemented on Legacy.
So it was more a one-time job than something else. It's just the way we work. It's plugin based, and we say, okay, we want to parse, let's say, blockchain cuties. This is how the backend should query the URL. This is how the metadata structure is, so that we know the image is there, the description is there. Okay, it works. But then, let's say another project, maybe his metadata structure was completely different. So we couldn't reuse what we had. We had to duplicate or work completely, and it just doesn't work. That's why there are standard also for metadata structure. Even on Neo 3, there is that, because there's a NEP 11 standard itself, which is about sending, receiving, and what you can do with an NFT. But also within this NFT, you have metadata, which is usually in a JSON structure. And this has to be standardized because this is what literally marketplace and wallet use. I have this NFT ID. I want to show the image. It's like this. And you go from project A to B to C. It's the same thing.
I've kind of been developing this theory and I want to have you poke holes in it, where I think that once N3 mainnet is live and people are using it, that Neo will become this platform that's perfect for NFTs. It has native Oracle, native distributed storage network, simple access from the smart contract. So compared with the other blockchains you're working on right now, the EVM compatible chains and everything, is that a fair statement to make?
I'd say we'll have to see first. That's the first thing. For now, it's not live. But yes, I think two things which are very, very important and awesome are, like you said, oracles and native storage capabilities and NeoFS, the whole capabilities of that. It's very cool. Unlike other blockchain where you have to use third-party tools or do some hack stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying I don't think there is an equivalent, let's say, to NeoFS out there yet. Mm-hmm. Not that you can use it fully right now. It's obviously still not in beta, but more like final testing or whatnot. And we haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to possibilities with it. But I think it's very cool, and it opens up a lot of new concepts and whatnot, and natively. That's the most important part, because sure, you can introduce some custodial or some more centralized point and do the same. But in this case, the idea is that since it's native, you can just use it almost plug and play. For now, it's obviously, as of today, it's not the case, but it's coming.
Yeah, so I'm curious if you've had any conversations. So the Neo Frontier Launchpad just concluded, and one of the categories was NFTs. So there were a lot of projects that came in to integrate the NEP11 standard into the projects they were working on. So I'm wondering if you've had any communication with any of these teams. Did you follow along the Launchpad event? What were kind of your general thoughts on that?
Yeah, I followed a bit, not enough because I was a bit busy the last few weeks, but there were some cool ideas, like especially the one with renting NFT. I think it's very cool. It's something I've actually planned to do since a long time as a side project, but I never had the chance. But the concept itself is awesome. I mean, there are some high-end NFT, and being able to rent them in a decentralized way and securely, it's very cool. And I haven't checked them all, but there are definitely some cool ideas. We chatted a bit with some project. Some had questions related to NEP11 and whatnot, and since we were a bit more advanced, maybe I helped them. Nothing major. It was mostly basic help, but we didn't have that much interaction. I mean, they were pretty busy, and so are we, and they didn't need us per se. We actually prepared the GhostMarket to be fully ready on testnet for them in case they wanted to show their NFT and whatnot, but they all had their own solution, like, I don't know, a website, so showing their own stuff. So they didn't need yet third party or cross-project synergies, Obviously, this will be something that might change sooner than later with Mainnet coming up. But for now, it was not needed. So that's mostly why we didn't get to talk more, Mm-hmm. But yes, I talked to a few people, and I know that there are quite a lot of people involved or coming up on the ecosystem, specifically on NFT projects. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So speaking of people that are getting involved with NFTs, GhostMarket had a really cool collaboration with Kevin Smith, or one of his companies, to make some NFTs. So, and I think you were mentioning that there are some other athletes or artists that are on the way. So can you maybe share about some new partnerships? And if you can't really say any names, maybe talk about like how do these relationships form? What does the process look like for reaching out and connecting with the star?
Yeah, so it's it's a mix of luck slash friend of a friend of a friend, and just talking to people. But basically, I've had this conversation with a lot of investors and brands and whatnot in the past few months, and a lot of big brands are looking to get into NFT, but they don't want to. First, they know nothing about it, like literally. Like I said, they know NFT are here. They know they don't want to miss what's happening, but they have no clue what they're doing. And quite often, they're looking for a place where they can promote and sell their own branded NFT collectible. But they don't want to dilute themselves in a generic platform amongst thousands of other NFT, and there is not a lot of platforms available out there who basically provide a capability to have what we call a white label solution. Obviously, OpenSea, the biggest marketplace, has something. It was, if you ask me, until recently quite too simple. As they're working on it, it's pretty cool what they're doing. But besides OpenSea, it's almost non-existent. There are a few competitors who started up very recently who are exclusively focused on that. Like I think one of them actually calls them the Shopify of NFT. So it's something people want. But the fact is, for now, there is no one standing out providing this service. So this is one of our core service. Basically, we provide a way to spin up your own customized and branded marketplace running on top of our existing infrastructure, but it can be fully customized for the customer / artist needs. So it's a way for them to get a foot into the space very easily and without dealing with the technical challenge and whatnot, because some people don't realize they want to start NFT, but then they're like, okay, I need to know which blockchain I'm in my NFT on. For now, it's mostly Ethereum, but this will change. And then they need to know, okay, who do I get my people to buy NFT? How do I get my people to store NFT? And where do I sell them? Do I need to have auction capabilities? Anyway, there are tons of questions, and people have no clue what the answers are most of the time. They just think it's about selling regular item, which it should be in a sense, but it's not. For now, there are tons of consideration like image. People don't know how image storage work on NFT. That's just an example, but I'm not saying it's too complex. I'm just saying it's a lot of moving pieces to put together, and quite often people don't realize it.
Yeah. So when you're talking with like a star or an athlete or a musician who's new to the NFT space, when they're talking to GhostMarket, are they asking you about different blockchains that they can operate on top of? Do they care about things like consensus mechanism and decentralization, or are they looking at things of just basic things like cost?
No, so there are two things they're looking at least the one I talked to. The first one is what's the user base they can attract. I'm not saying they're here for the money, but obviously if they want to sell something, they want to get traction. So that's the first thing. And obviously, like I said, depending which blockchain you choose, that's the first criteria. It will open up a different audience and a different user base. So that's one thing. Second thing, which I didn't know, but since a few months, if you didn't know, a lot of hate is going with NFT because it's killing the environment, which I can understand. It's less important for me. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying I didn't know that so many people were heavily focused on that. And some of the artists, maybe not the big one, but still are actually very conscious, and this is one of the most important criteria. And this is one of the reasons some artists don't go to Ethereum, because up until now, Ethereum is very resource. It consumes a lot of resource. Let's put it that way. So which is okay. And I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm just saying I didn't realize a lot of people consider this, but actually they do.
Is it the same argument that's tied to Bitcoin's proof of work
Yeah,
consensus that it's
it's
killing it?
about proof of work blockchain, which are very resource intensive blockchain,
Totally.
which is true. I mean, it's a fact. Is it relevant in terms of what we do in NFT? I don't know, but it's definitely a criteria when you compare which blockchain to choose from, comparing DBFT or proof of stake versus proof of work. It's a no match in terms of resources, obviously.
That's kind of going to be an interesting angle moving forward when trying to attract outsiders minting their first NFTs, highlighting how, maybe Binance Smart Chain or Neo is built on a environmentally friendly blockchain. Something unique that I hadn't thought of until this conversation. The other night I was trying to mint my own NFT on Phantasma using some seed funding that was distributed last year just to onboard people and help them mint their first NFT. Yeah. And I was too low on KCal and too heavy on Sol to mint my NFT, and I was desperately looking for a way to swap tokens in order to trade some of my Sol for KCal. So, and that's not available on GhostMarket. So, is that something that is going to be on the roadmap, or are there going to be easier ways to conduct token swaps moving forward?
Yeah, this is more a Phantasma feature than a GhostMarket feature, obviously. So for all the blockchain we integrate, we're basically limited by the blockchain capabilities, And what you mentioned is something lacking on Phantasma. It's more pairing, more DEX, more whatnot, to facilitate the ease of onboarding. And it's actually one of the reasons, if I had to say why for now we're not known enough, is because at first we were focused on Phantasma, and Phantasma has not difficulty, but it's way more complex to onboard new people. For exactly what you mentioned, you want to get started easily. There's a whole learning curve just to get some crypto to have the fees to pay for whatever you need. As opposed to BSC, just an example, you can get BNB on every single exchange on the planet, even on Neo and Ethereum. It's even worse. You literally have it everywhere. So you're basically, you have to deal with what you're integrating, and currently Phantasma was one of the less known NFT blockchain we integrated. They're working on improving a lot of stuff, but to us it doesn't matter that much. Like I said, we're focused on the other side, which is integrating everything we can,
I do want to add a caveat that there is an on-ramp, there is a fiat on-ramp, so you can purchase Sol and KCal or any of the other cryptocurrencies supported on the platform. And I was very easily able to get to the point where I was building the NFT and putting the image in there and adding the metadata descriptors. And I got as far as that. So I was kind of limited by the ability to swap a token that's a smaller market cap. So that's the caveat. The platform was very easy to use and to build my NFT. I just couldn't launch it because of the restrictions of just a lesser circulated cryptocurrency. So before we wrap up, you'd mentioned in a podcast a couple weeks ago a token that GhostMarket is launching. So can you just tell us a little bit about what the token is and kind of what it's going to be used for, and maybe a roadmap looking forward?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's directly related to our growth/expansion. There are a couple of ways to raise money when you're in a company in blockchain. It's either with traditional equity or through a token sale. Obviously, we didn't want to just introduce token sale for the purpose of having a token. It's useless. So we came up with proper tokenomics where we are going to introduce basically a cross-chain governance token. So for all blockchain we integrate with, we will be deploying a fungible version. So on Ethereum and ERC20, on Neo NEP 17, and this token has a whole bunch of use cases, mostly utility/governance related, voting for features. You can basically access exclusive drops from artists if you own a specific amount of this token. You can also, one very important point of this token is what we call marketplace incentives. So basically, a way to attract people on our marketplace, both collectors and sellers/artists, is to reward them based on the volume they do on the platform. So we have a whole bunch of the supply reserved for that. For a very long period, we're going to reward people weekly based on their volume on the platform. It's kind of what happening on all DeFi projects. You're rewarding people to attract them. So that's one of the use cases, but it's not the only one. Anyway, all this part is close to ready. We actually have finished all our smart contract. It was quite a lot of work because we're going to deploy on Phantasma, Neo3, Binance, Polygon, and Ethereum at the same time. So it's not complex, but it takes some preparation and whatnot. I don't have a date yet, but I'm hoping within 1 month-ish, we should have this launch. So how it works is that currently we're finalizing our funding. It's a private round of investment. It's close to being done. And after that, we will have a public sale where we will be basically launching officially the token. In a couple days, we will introduce a very simple website with information related to that. Traditional, what's the team, what's a token sale for, what's a token for, and timeline, amounts, and whatnot. Basically what people are looking for, tokenomics and etc. Because for now, our website is not a sale website. Unlike other projects, we don't sell something and then build it. We did the reverse. It's working, and now we're selling something. So it's a bit, we took the step in the reverse, but that's okay.
I think that's the right way to do it, especially in 2021. 4 years ago, people would sell a white paper, and today they're selling an actual functional product.
Yeah.
Cool.
So just to add, that's what the token sale is for. It's about introducing a way for user of the platform to first be rewarded and be involved in governance decision and a whole bunch of use cases, like I said, accessing high-end drops, voting on new project being added and whatnot, and I'm very excited about all there is to come. Obviously, this will be a staged integration. We won't have all use case day one. It's not possible. But as a first step, at least the marketplace incentives and a couple use case would be a very good start.
Well, in the 11 months since we last spoke, GhostMarket has become a formalized company. You have grown your staff. You have full-time members. Multi-chain support is integrated. There's a token that's going to be on the way to reward users and to also offer governance and other use cases that maybe we don't even know yet. So GhostMarket's done a lot of growing. You've done a lot of great work. Congrats to everything you've done so far, and definitely looking forward to keeping up with what you guys do in the future, as well as from Neo News Today's perspective, just seeing N3 get integrated. I can't wait. It's going to be really fun to continue following the project.
Thank you very much, Dylan. Yes, I'm very excited. Let's try to have a chat in less than 11 months.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming to chat with us today and just sharing some updates. It was really great to catch up.
Perfect. Have a good day, Dylan. Thanks.
Cheers. Well, what did you think of that conversation? It was great to be able to hear about the progress the team and the platform have made since our last interview was held in August 2020. Since then, the team has integrated support for multiple chains, grown its user base, and collaborated with some really interesting brands. I'm looking forward to the rollout of the GhostMarket token and seeing how it will incentivize community members to participate in platform processes and on governance issues. To keep up to date with the latest in the Neo ecosystem, visit www.neonewstoday.com. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and or Spotify. And leave a 5-star review if you feel that others should hear our content. Every subscription and review helps others learn more about the Neo News Today podcast and the Neo ecosystem. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the Neo News Today podcast, and we look forward to catching you next time.